Hi, my name is Sam Heyman. I am a graduate of Denison University. I graduated from Denison in 2014, and I am interested in auditioning for the TEDxDenisonU talks that are coming this upcoming spring. So I wanted to talk to you about a specific topic and how it relates to Denison. The topic that I want to talk to you about is gamification, something that's called radical play, and the Denison community. What is it that I see as being particularly relevant about gamification, radical play, to the Denison community? So first, gamification. What is that? Gamification is a word that is used to describe anything that takes elements of game design, elements of gamefulness, and applies it to real-world activities. So a really popular example of this would be the Fitbit, which, if you are unfamiliar with what the Fitbit is, it tracks how many steps that you take in a given day. It is able to kind of synthesize this information each day and kind of track your progress. It gives you achievements for reading your 10,000 steps each day, all sorts of stuff. That's gamification. Gamification is usually used as a tool for self-improvement and as a way to get people to buy things. And I think that gamification can be used for much bigger purposes. So I want to talk to you about one of those purposes, and that has to do with radical play. So radical play is something that I haven't really invented and I haven't really made in any way. It's something that I think is happening in small ways, but giving it a name and giving it a definition enables other people to be able to really take ownership of the fact that they are doing it. So what is radical play? Radical play is a particular application of gamification, and it is used primarily to facilitate community building, facilitate education, facilitate enliven social action, as well as cultural change. So those are some big things. How can gamification, something that seems apparently playful, maybe a little bit trivial to some, I don't know, I hope it doesn't feel trivial to you, how could that be used to facilitate cultural change? So that's something that I want to talk about. Okay, so we know a little bit about what radical play is. We know a little bit about what gamification is. Now let's start talking about the Denison community, and let me begin by operationally defining what I see as the Denison community. What is my view of Denison? So, full disclosure, I studied creative writing and queer studies at Denison, so my perspective is really colored by being in those departments and being a person that studied those kinds of things, so I see Denison in a different way than maybe another person might. I also experienced Denison in a different way because I was a student leader. I spent a little bit of time as a student athlete because of Denison Quidditch. I also was heavily involved in the theater. I was heavily involved in the LGBT community as well as the Jewish community at Denison, and I did a lot. I did more, I think, than I really was able to appreciate until leaving, and I think more than anyone was able to appreciate while I was there. And that's a big part of it. The Denison community is an incredibly vibrant, incredibly social, incredibly active campus that doesn't do necessarily an adequate job elevating, no, not elevating, but recognizing students for the little things and the big things that they do on a daily, weekly, monthly basis to make campus a better place. So, in the Denison community that doesn't recognize the hard work of its students, what happens to those students who work too hard to do too many things? Well, from experience I know that in a lot of cases they endure really extensive mental health trauma that they might not necessarily call trauma because they're encouraged not to call it that. And it's not something that is encouraged by campus, but it's something that we bring with us when we come to campus. And that, namely, is the unwillingness or fear of disclosing the fact that we are struggling. And that's something that I want to talk about with the Denison community. Be solution-oriented and help us find a path toward change. Thank you.